Good evening, everybody. It is your boy Hana, Ben E-Hana, and I'm here with another review. And tonight I bring you something pretty much on the other side of the spectrum from last week's video, which was a full custom Glen Waters Hayabusa. This tonight is going to be a Rogers Design OEM Slim by Bestech Knives. And tonight I wanted to bring a production knife to the table because my collection is all over the place, but it starts basically here and then kind of goes up from there. So I did want to make sure that I got this right out, right in here, right in the mix, and address it. So I've added, I got a ruler tonight. I've got a scale over here to weigh these things. Last week I didn't have those. So tonight I'll be able to give some measurements, things like that, and I'm also going to compare against the knives I have on the table as opposed to just basically showing them there. So before I get into the knife itself, which I will start to unpack, let's talk about Bestech Knives. And Bestech Knives is a small batch Chinese production knife company, and they make original designs, and they also make collaborations like this. And it's really a good knife. I mean, it comes with fairly nice packaging. It's very tired packaging. It's been done on everything, but it's nice. QC is not great, but this is just a, whatever. Little leather slip, pebble grain brown. And comes with a couple extra screws. So packaging is it's decent for the price point. It's fine. I wish it was a little nicer, but it is what it is. But yeah, so Bestech being a Chinese production company, obviously people have heavy opinions, but I'm not going to get into that. It is what it is. I'm a knife guy, not a whatever guy. So I buy knives I like, and this is one. Chinese production knife by Bestech. Richard Rogers Design OEM Slim. So the OEM Slim is the production collaboration, as I've stated, with Richard Rogers on his SLUT, Slimline Utility Knife. And that knife is super rare, super hard to find. I've seen one, I've handled one, but only one. And it was great. I mean, it was really nice. This is a nice way to do it. These are very light knives, very thin knives. And some people might pick this up and they say, well, if I'm paying this much money for a knife, I want it to feel like a knife. But this does feel like a knife. It feels like the knife it's supposed to feel like. So straight out of the box, my first impression, to be honest with you, was that. It was like, this thing feels like nothing, like a feather. And I was going to actually just move it, just straight up flip it, because it initially just was not for me. But after having it for a while, kind of putting it through its paces, dealing with it, carrying it, I like it. I really like it. So, pardon my coughing there or whatever, but so on the table here tonight I put a couple other production knives. Now this is a production small batch collaboration similar to this, but this is made by Reate, and this is a Lee Williams Kickstop Krypton II by Tashi Barucha Design in collaboration with Reate. And this knife is absolutely awesome. I love this thing. It's a rocket ship. Its ergonomics are incredible. Everything functionally is on point. The faux integral construction with the screwless appearance on the presentation side. Tashi's motto is something like function follows form, or the lines are important, or something to that effect. And you can see in his designs that they are really, really sexy. I'm not going to say that word a ton when I'm talking about knives, but you cannot not say that word when you're looking at some of his designs. Tashi designs some incredibly sexy knives. The lines are are right on. And then next to that, I've got a Shirogorov, however you pronounce that, NeOn Retro. Now the Retro is a 1 of 100 that's on the 0 frame, but with the milling of the original light and ultralight. So both of these knives, obviously, I'm going to review in their own time. But these are the knives that I brought to compare. And that is my favorite knife to actually carry in my pocket. And even though that is, roughly twice the price of this, I carry this less because to me this is maybe I shouldn't say it, but to me this is better than this. I love the brand. I love the knife in general. I love everything about this. I carry it all the time. But this, to me, is a better production knife. So, enough about the peanut gallery. Let's get back to the OEM Slim. So, first off, we'll start here. I've got my 0 on this line. So, I'm going to line my tips up and put myself on the straight. So overall length, obviously the NeOn Retro is coming in the longest at roughly 7.5 inches long. The Krypton II in second place at just over 7 inches. And then the OEM Slim at about 6.5 inches OAL. Blade length on these is you are about 2 3/4 on the OEM Slim. You are about 3 1/8 on the Retro. It is 3 1/8, and you are at about a 3-inch with a 2 7 or 2 3/4 inch actual blade, because the edge does not start until right about there. This is a, maybe you include it. I don't know. Call that 3. But anyway, so next to them, you've got a width of, I'm going to line it up from the 1-inch mark, the 3-inch mark, the 5-inch mark. And so I'm looking at about a 1/2 inch total width, but the knife is twice as wide because of the clip. The clip makes it almost twice as wide. The Retro in the middle is about 5/8 total. The clip is impacting it, but it's a flat clip as opposed to a spring style clip. So this one really looks wider here than this one does, but they're similar. And then the widest one is the Krypton II. Now that's due to the fact that this has this faux integral construction, so it's made to appear like it's one piece, but it's not. In the light you can see the cut, and then you can see in here where they do a essentially a pivot delete on the presentation scale, where if you're just glancing at this, you don't see any hardware. So that's our thickest knife. Now let's get some weights on these. I got this scale and I turned it on earlier and I could not figure out how to make it not say grams. So I was puzzling through it and it says ounces down here. So it'll be grams on this, but ounces here. And I don't know how to do anything about that, so I'm not going to mess with it. But the OEM Slim comes in at 2.05 ounces, 58 grams. The Retro comes in at 79 grams, 2.8 ounces. And then the Krypton II, that's the heaviest one. Clearly, when you hold them, you know that. But almost 3 3/4 ounces on that. So the OEM Slim is true to its name. Slim, light, precise. It's a great homage to what its collaboration intended. And this is a really good knife. So if I'm comparing it to what's on the table, which I'm not gonna make them battle. I'm just going to say a couple of things. Is that regarding the actions, the OEM Slim it's not a flipper, so I can't really compare it apples to apples, but I will say that it's snappy for being a flicker. It's snappy. It's also not, it's on washers. You can see there, it's on the washers. So it's not a drop shut knife, it's a functional knife, Whereas these ones are flippers. These two are flippers. And so on top of that, if you know these knives, you know that they're known for their action, their flipping action, and then their smooth drop shut. These are precision. These are precision knives. They're awesome. And by comparison, there is no comparison. This one is hands down, functionally, by almost all metrics and measures, how people would measure it, it's just night and day. I will advocate for that, not having those features, because it's not the same type of a knife. But I'm saying if you're looking at those and you're comparing them side by side, it would be hard to find something better about this than this. Now, if we move to my Krypton II, this has the best flipping action of the three by far. However, when it comes to the closing action, the Neon is the easy winner. This one has a Lee Williams kickstop, so you can see this piece moves independently of the blade. So it's what makes that blade shoot out. And I have had a Lee Williams full custom kickstop knife before. I don't have it anymore. It's not my style, and I traded it for what is my favorite knife in my whole collection. So I'm happy I did that. But I've had one. And if you put this side by side with that, this one has snappier action. The other one, the full custom, is absolutely much smoother, glassier. It's a better knife, 100%. But this knife, with the production capabilities of Reate, with the kickstop, is not a joke. That thing is really a flipper. That's a flipper. So, by comparison, you have the lightest knife, the thinnest knife, the shortest OAL, the shortest blade length, the only one that I have on the table that's not a flipper, the only one I have on the table that's on washers, and that is why I qualify this knife. I give this knife a silver level rating. The Hayabusa I put on the platinum level. I have 5 levels of knives, and I'm going to get into that. I'm going to do a dedicated video to how I do my ratings on my own knives, how I evaluate my knives. And I'm sure that there's going to be some critiques on my system, but that's great. I want to hear critiques on how I can add value to people's experiences, both on my channel, but also in not only in my channel, on my channel, but in their lives, in their experiences with the knives. If nothing else, I hope to be informative with some of these posts. Today I feel like I rambled a little bit, but I'm okay with that because I compared these knives, I think, fairly well. I didn't get too technical with it. I just showed some cool knives, and so with that, I thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully they get better every time. This time I got the scale, the ruler, blah, blah. I'm going to add things. I've got things in the way, or in the mail, and I'm going to do a video about beads. I'm going to put one on about my grading system, all of that. So I hope you come back and watch it, enjoy it. If you have any questions about any of these knives that I show on any of my videos, just comment on it. Send me a message. I'll reply back. So thanks again. And signing off, I will see you all next week with something new, something cool, and probably something sharp. So have a great night. Talk to you all soon.